Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL news cycle lately, you know that the Buffalo Bills are in a very interesting position, especially when it comes to bolstering their offensive weapons. Right now, there's a lot of buzz about a potential trade that could significantly change the dynamic of this Bills offense, and more broadly, the AFC playoff picture. So let's break it down and get into the details of this intriguing rumor that's been floating around, a possible trade involving Rashid Shaheed from the New Orleans Saints. This isn't just some idle speculation. It's rooted in real interest from the Bills, and the implications could be huge. To set the scene, the Bills are currently sitting at 4-2, which is a strong position in the AFC standings, but they're clearly looking to take that next step, especially offensively. They want more explosiveness, more speed, and a deeper threat to complement their existing weapons like Keon Coleman, who has been emerging as a true playmaker. The Bills have been eyeing a player like Shaheed, a speedster who's been making waves in New Orleans. Meanwhile, the Saints, with a 1-5 start and a roster facing some rebuilding challenges, are open to moving assets to accelerate their rebuild, especially with the trade deadline approaching on November 4th. What makes Rashid Shaheed such an attractive target? Well, he's an undrafted player who's exploded onto the scene in 2025, showcasing top-end speed and playmaking ability that's rare in the league. His 40-yard dash time is around 4.4 seconds, and he's been a deep threat for the Saints, with 18 receptions for 278 yards and 2 touchdowns over just 6 games, averaging an impressive 15.4 yards per catch. His ability to stretch defenses is exactly what the Bills need to open up more space for their passing game. Shaheed's career stats are solid too, over 100 yards and 12 touchdowns, with a PFF grade of 85.9, placing him among the top 22 wide receivers in the league in terms of overall performance. His yards per route run are at 2.0, which indicates he's consistently finding ways to make an impact downfield. What's really interesting here is how Shaheed's speed and production could fit into the Bills' offense. If they acquire him, he could add around 850 yards to their aerial attack, boosting Josh Allen's efficiency metrics significantly. His presence as a deep threat would force defenses to respect the vertical route, creating mismatches for players like Keon Coleman and even Mac Hollins, who could benefit from the extra space and targets. This isn't just about adding another receiver. It's about transforming the Bills' offensive approach into one that's faster, more explosive, and harder to defend. The Saints, on the other hand, face a different set of challenges. With a tight cap situation of around $16 million and a defense that's allowing an average of 31 points per game, they're looking to rebuild and retool. Moving Shaheed for a 4th-round pick in 2026 could provide them with some much-needed assets to focus on extensions, especially for Chris Olave, one of their promising young receivers. The Saints are in a tough spot, capping out their finances and trying to stay competitive while juggling a defense that's giving up too many points. Moving Shaheed now, while it might seem counterintuitive given his recent rise, makes sense from their perspective as they look to gather assets and plan for the future. For the Bills, the potential trade is a no-brainer. They have about $14 million in cap space available and are eager to infuse their offense with more explosiveness. Adding Shaheed would not only give them a deep threat, but also a player who's proven his ability to perform under pressure. His 2025 stats, while limited by injuries earlier in the year, show a player who can be a game-changer. Plus, his ability to make contested catches, around 52% of the time, along with his proficiency in deep balls, where he has a 65% success rate, makes him an ideal fit for the Bills' offensive scheme. Now, let's talk about the broader impact of this potential move. Shaheed's addition would significantly elevate the Bills' offensive metrics. For example, his deep ball threat alone could increase their yards per attempt, raising Josh Allen's expected points added per pass from around 0.16 to nearly 0.29. That's a 14% improvement, which translates into more drives, more points, and ultimately more wins. His speed and route-running ability would create mismatches against almost any defense, especially in the red zone, where having a player capable of stretching the field vertically can turn a field goal into a touchdown. This strategic upgrade could be the difference-maker in tight playoff games where every point counts. And it's not just about raw stats. Shahid's impact on the offense extends to the mental aspect. Defenses would have to devote extra attention to him, which opens up opportunities for Keon Coleman and the running game. Plus, with Shahid drawing coverage, Mac Hollins, who has been a reliable target, could be used more for intermediate routes or as a safety valve, reducing drops and improving overall offensive consistency. The Bills have been known for their dynamic passing game, and this move could turn them into an even more lethal unit, capable of striking from anywhere on the field. Looking at the historical context, adding a player like Shahid isn't unprecedented. Think about how the Chiefs benefited from adding Marquez Valdes-Scantling in 2022, which helped them stretch defenses and improve their aerial attack. The Bills could be on the verge of a similar transformation, especially if this trade materializes before the deadline. With about a month to go, Buffalo has the chance to make a bold move that could reshape their season and their Super Bowl aspirations. The odds are already reflecting some of this optimism. DraftKings has shifted the Bills' Super Bowl odds from plus 1,200 to plus 800, which shows how much the market believes that adding a speedster like Shahid could propel them into serious contention. With Allen at the helm and a now more explosive receiving core, the Bills could be looking at a deep playoff run, possibly even a Super Bowl appearance. The AFC is loaded, no doubt, but a weapon like Shahid could be the X factor that pushes Buffalo over the top. Now, of course, everything hinges on the trade deadline on November 4th. Will the Saints pull the trigger? Will the Bills and Shahid's camp come to an agreement? That's the big question. But the scenario is plausible, and the potential fallout is enormous. If this move happens, it could be remembered as one of the most impactful trades of the season, especially for the Bills, who are always aiming to stay ahead of the curve and maximize their championship window. So fans of Buffalo, keep a close eye on this story. It's not just about adding a player, it's about reshaping the identity of the Bills' offense. With Shahid's speed, Allen's arm, and the supporting cast, Buffalo could be on the verge of a new era, one where explosive plays become the norm and their Super Bowl dreams get a serious boost. This could be the move that makes the difference between just making the playoffs and going all the way. As we get closer to the deadline, expect more updates, rumors, and perhaps even official confirmations. But for now, the buzz is real and the potential is enormous. Stay tuned, Bills fans. Big things are on the horizon, and I wouldn't be surprised if we look back at this moment as a turning point for this franchise. And now, Buffalo Bills fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Buffalo Bills. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Buffalo Bills news.